Hey, what's up? My name is Uti Wachuku, and you are watching The Eagle Online. Keep it locked, okay?
Hello, lovers. Today I'm going to be debunking some sexual myths, so stay glued to the screen. You're welcome to Eve's Desire by Tiwa Says, and I remain your pleasure coach. So like I said, we are going to be debunking some controversial sexual myths. And those are myths surrounding kinks and fetishes. So what are those? A kink is, usually something that is not considered normal. Sexual practices and behavior that are not within the seemingly normal, range. Things that people see as, abnormal. But then it's a kink for some people. It's something that some other people find pleasurable. So what is a fetish? A fetish is quite similar, it's sexual behavior and practices as well, but it is more specific on objects and body parts, especially body parts that are not considered to be sexual. There are some body parts that are considered sexual and there are some that are not considered sexual. So a fetish could be fixation on a body part that is not considered sexual. And what's the difference between these two? The basic difference is that the kink is something that a person may want or that adds pleasure, to your sexual experience. Meanwhile, a fetish is something that you cannot do without. Someone who has a foot fetish, for instance, will not get sexual satisfaction except with that foot fetish. It is different from a kink where, BDSM, an example of a kink is BDSM, submission, dominance, role play and all that. So it's an added pleasure. A kink is like an added pleasure. But a fetish is a needed pleasure. You need it to, the people who have fetishes, they need it to be able to get to that sexual peak that, that they derive, that they want. So that's the difference between the two. So like I said, a kink is, it involves especially BDSM, mostly BDSM, and that takes different variations. It could be role play, like I said. It could be temperature play. Those are those that have to do with candles, dropping candle wax on the body. Some people find that sexually pleasurable. It could be impact play. Impact play is spanking. That involves spanking. People who use leather whips, during sex and all that. And then fetishes, like I said, people have feet fetish, hand fetish, different types of fetish. Some people even have pregnancy fetish. And when I say pregnancy fetish, they are only turned on by pregnant women, or some of the features of a pregnant woman, like a lactating woman, someone who is breastfeeding, has milk. Some men are turned on by that, and that is what they need to get that sexual satisfaction. If that is not there, they will not get it. That one is a fetish. And the foot, if they don't suck on the foot, sorry, they will not get to that sexual peak. So let's discuss some of these myths. The first one is that some people believe that those who practice kinks and fetishes, or those who have kinks and fetishes, have an history of trauma or abuse in their childhood. And that is not necessarily true. This is not to say that some people who have kinks and fetishes have them because or as a result of some trauma in their childhood. That is actually possible, but it's a small percentage. A larger percentage of people who practice fetishes and kinks just do so because it's a sexual preference. It's just something that they like, Like I always say, we are all different. We are wired differently. The fact that you do something this way or you find this pleasurable does not mean the other person has to find it pleasurable. And it does not mean that if somebody is not getting pleasure the way you are getting pleasure, that person is abnormal. No. We are all different and we are diverse that way. So like I always say too, if you are not committing a crime and then it is consensual, please have your fun and have your pleasure. So it is not, remove that from your mind. It's not people that are abused or have had trauma that have kinks or practice kinks and fetishes. And then, like I mentioned earlier, kinks and fetishes are different. Some people think, oh, it's one and the same thing. No, they are different. And I've told you the difference. The difference is that the kink is just an added pleasure. But for a fetish, it is a needed pleasure. People who have fetishes need that fetish to be able to get to their sexual peak, or to be even aroused or feel any some sort of sexual fulfillment, as against kink that, okay, it's just an added pleasure. You can still get to have your sexual fulfillment without it, so it's just an added pleasure. So that's the difference. Another myth is that those who engage in kinks and fetishes have mental illness. I beg you. It's not true. It's not true at all. There's nothing. It has nothing to do with mental illness. It just has to do with your sexual preference. So another myth is that those who practice or those who have fetishes and kinks are freaks and gays. That is not true. Of course, I'm not saying that gays do not practice, do not practice kinks and fetishes, or do not have kinks and fetishes. In fact, it was attributed to them from the onset of kinks and fetishes was attributed to gays, that it's only gays that engage. But no, over time it's been found out that it's not only gays that enjoy that, practice it. Normal heterosexual people too practice some form of kinks and fetishes, and there's nothing freakish about it. It's normal. It's not an abnormality at all. It's just a sexual preference, like I said. One other myth is that people who practice some fetishes and kinks like to hurt people. Like, okay, so if you have a fetish or if you have a kink, it means like you like to inflict pain on people. Well, that is not exactly true. But then, there's also a saying that, there's pleasure in pain and pain in pleasure, that kind of thing. But then it is with consent. That is the primary thing here. Kinks and fetishes is with consent. It has to be with consent of your partner. You have to take consent from your partner. And if two consenting adults are engaging in some form of kink or fetish or the other, then there's nothing wrong with it. Even if you like the pain, it's consent, it's pain with consent. And then even if you like pain being given to you, you like people inflicting pain on you, it is with consent. So it is not abuse, or it is not you are not breaking any law. If you are not breaking any law and it is with consent, please indulge. So guys, you've heard it. Those are the myths, and I hope I've been able to debunk them for you. So, like I promised you at the beginning of this year, that I'm going to make sure that we have, the most exciting and the most pleasuring and most fulfilling sex this year. So I'm doing my part. You need to do yours as well. So there's nothing wrong with having a kink and a fetish. Like I mentioned earlier, if it is with consent with your partner, that is the most important thing. You have to seek consent. You can't just jump on someone or assume that, oh, this person is going to like this, or you just do something out of the blue like that. No, it's not done. If you do that, they can charge you to court or have you arrested. Have a conversation. Conversation is key. Communication is key. Have a conversation with your partner about your fetish, about your kink. This is why communication is very important, and this is why you need to be open with your partner. Oh, I have this kink. You might be surprised. Your partner may have the same kind of kink or the same kind of fetish, and you guys can just roll. So have the conversation, have consent. There's also the place of safe words, and a safe word is basically something, your boundary, like where you stop, where you can't go any further. So your partner has to know that, oh, you can only do this to this point. When it's going further than that, no. So you should have a safe word for that, and that is between you and your partner. It could be anything, but something that lets your partner know that, oh, no, you can't go beyond this. So if you have that, and if you have consent, and you are both consenting adults, and you're not breaking any law, by all means, indulge. So I hope I've been able to help you today, and I hope that you have the most exciting sex this week or this weekend or this month and this year. And if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button and also subscribe so that you can be getting notifications for our future videos, and also follow us on all our social media handles. And I'll be seeing you.
My name is Iyabo Ojo, and you're watching the Eagle Online.